Since March, the film industry has been in an unprecedented frenzy. When COVID-19 shut down the world, dozens of film productions halted, thousands of cinemas closed, and millions were left with one question. How am I going to watch Trolls World Tour? And DreamWorks answered, with a digital release.
DreamWorks was one of the first studios to release a film on digital amidst this pandemic, and many other studios followed. Movies like The King of Staten Island, Scoob, Rarely Sometimes Always, and more recently Mulan and Antebellum are all available to rent right now in your own homes. Other big blockbusters have been delayed to late 2020, or in some cases 2021, examples being A Quiet Place Part 2, No Time to Die, Black Widow, Wonder Woman, and many more.
In comes Tenet.
Tenet is director Christopher Nolan's newest film, a high-budget, grandiose, elaborate espionage thriller, filled with mind-bending ideas, intense action, and a ton of testosterone. Christopher Nolan's films beg to be seen in the theater. One of his trademarks is his insistence on filming on IMAX. Films of his including The Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar, and Dunkirk all incorporate IMAX technology in certain scenes, if not most. For Nolan, a digital release just would not give Tenet the justice it deserves.
In late August, theaters across the United States that had closed with 15,000 COVID cases opened with 5.5 million. Makes sense. And the first big blockbuster to go back?
Tenet isn't doing as well in the box office as was predicted. Being one of the first movies of its magnitude to make it back to theaters, it made a mere $20 million domestically opening weekend, less than half of what Nolan's last film, Dunkirk, made in its opening weekend. With a budget of $200 million, Tenet only just made back its budget in its second weekend in theaters.
Naturally, most moviegoers are questioning whether or not they should go to cinemas to see Nolan's new flick, and rightfully so. So I decided I was going to go see Tenet. Let me tell you about it.
An experience at AMC goes like this. You buy your tickets ahead of time online, choosing what seats you would like. There are now seat capacity restrictions, meaning when you reserve your spot, all the spots around you are marked off in order to comply with the CDC's social distancing guidelines. At the theater, there's contactless ticketing and antibacterial wipes provided to clean your seat once you enter the theater. Additionally, big theaters like AMC have invested millions in high-tech solutions to sanitation, including electrostatic sprays and new air ventilation filters.
But somehow it's okay to take off your mask to eat concessions. Huh? From a business perspective, it makes sense that theaters still want to sell popcorn, candy, and refreshments, because theaters make the bulk of their money from concessions. But from a health perspective, it's kind of sketchy. Over half of my theater was not wearing masks, which made me pretty uncomfortable. After all, they are the most important thing to reduce the spread of COVID. Aside from that though, the experience felt pretty safe, more than I expected.
But what about the actual movie? The big screen certainly allows for you to take in the breathtaking cinematography and thrilling sequences. The plot is confusing yet captivating, the action is bold and inventive, and the visuals are astonishing and mesmerizing. Yet, the characters were rather one-note and uninteresting. Tenet also lacks a strong emotional core that could have really bound the film together into something spectacular.
As much as Nolan's films are some of the best to see on the big screen, I think it's probably a better idea to wait for Tenet to come out on digital. It's fun, but not necessarily a film you need to see right at this moment. And it's certainly not worth potentially getting or spreading COVID over. But while you wait, there are alternatives.
There's no shortage in movies to watch in the comfort of your own living room. As mentioned previously, plenty of new films are still being released on streaming platforms. The Five Bloods, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, Palm Springs, The Old Guard, Greyhound, The Devil All the Time, the list goes on and on. But if you're getting tired of watching films on your couch and you're missing a more conventional film experience, maybe rent a projector and have a movie night outside. Here in Kansas City, Screenland Armor is showing outdoor movies on the weekends. And if you're craving some Nolan cinema, Inception is available on Amazon Prime, and it's definitely worth the watch.
Take it from someone who's weighed the pros and cons themselves. It's better to sit Tenet out right now. Wait a few months to rent it, and then still have a fantastic experience watching it in the safety of your own home. And in the meantime, there's always Trolls World Tour. What more could you ask for?